Hi there, friends. Welcome to Inspiro, your cozy virtual cafe where we dive deep into the wisdom of life and offer a quick dose of daily inspiration. Grab your favorite warm beverage, pull up a chair, and let's chat. Today's topic is something we all face, whether we're ready for it or not. Acceptance. And as always, I've got my curious and thoughtful mentee joining me today. Hi there, how are you doing?
Hey, doing amazing. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's really good cafe as always. We're sitting here with our warm beverages. What do you get today?
Today I got, what was it, a pumpkin latte?
Pumpkin latte.
Yeah, with the Halloween season here.
Oh, that sounds great. Wow, how does it taste?
It was honestly one of the best coffee drinks I've ever had.
I saw
So
you
I
had,
recommend it.
I saw you had some cream on as well. I guess
Yeah.
it tastes really great. And I have the green passion, which is the tea, and it really tastes very well. And I'm really excited about today's topic.
Indeed.
Are you ready to deep
Same.
dive?
I am.
All right. So, have you ever had one of those moments where it feels like life just isn't going your way?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Sometimes more than others. Sometimes all the time. Sometimes the opposite. Sometimes it feels like things fall into place, but other times, not.
Yeah. I feel you. Life has a funny way of messing with our plans, right?
Exactly.
But there's the thing. What if I told you that accepting those moments is the essential part of our journey? And we are going to dive into some ancient philosophy. I think you will love it. Modern psychology and practical techniques to help you see things differently. Are you ready?
Sounds perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, everyone that listens to this podcast, you will have a bonus. So listen to the end, and you will experience something really, really interesting.
Yeah. Let's go.
So let's kick things off with something from the Stoics. They had this idea called Amor Fati,
Yes.
which means love of fate.
Yes.
And now, before you roll your eyes, it's not about loving everything that happens to you. You know, it's like it's the best thing ever. It's about embracing the good, the bad, and the ugly as a part of your journey. Imagine life as a river, right? Sometimes it's peaceful, but sometimes it throws you into the whirlpool. And the Stoics believed you should love all of it. What do you think? Could you love the whirlpool?
I will have to learn to love it. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like in the beginning it sounds like impossible, right? But it's not about pretending everything is great. It's about realizing that every part of the river, even the whirlpools, is taking you somewhere.
Okay.
So when life throws rocks at you, you're not wasting energy fighting them. You're flowing around them. It's the idea that there's power in acceptance.
Right.
So what's one rock in your life you've been trying to fight lately?
What am I trying to fight? That's a great question. Sometimes it feels like you're fighting everything, but sometimes it feels like you're fighting nothing. So I don't know. That's a good question. I think might have to get back to you on that one.
No problem.
I don't know. Like, what am I fighting? For example, tasks, I guess. Tasks that I have planned, and then, yeah, you have to fight it. Yeah, struggle against it. Yeah.
Struggle against tasks that you have, daily tasks.
For example, projects like for example, I'm editing a film now, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of struggle. That actually doing it is fine, but all the thought around it can be a bit stressful. That's one example.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I can understand that. So what is the way you're handling this rock, so to say? How do you handle it right now? What is your method or tactic to handle this rock?
Well, it changes. The nature changes for me. Some days it's easy. Some days it's really hard. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm just doing it bit by bit, as they say.
So that's your strategy.
Yeah, eating the elephant a piece at a time or whatever.
I like
Yeah.
that. I love that. I love that. So, from ancient philosophy, let's bring this into something a little more modern. Acceptance and commitment therapy. Have you heard about that?
Not too much
Yeah.
actually. Commitment therapy. No, I don't know.
Yeah, acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT.
Okay.
So basically, ACT says that instead of getting caught up in your thoughts or emotions, you accept them. You say, okay, this is how I feel. Then you focus on what you can do, what action you can take that aligns with your values and principles. And it's like steering your boat in the river. You can't control the current, but you can choose where to aim. How does that sound to you?
Sounds very interesting. Please tell me more.
Yeah, yeah. It's tricky because we want to fix everything, right? But ACT is all about recognizing that there are some things we just can change. Instead of wasting energy on the impossible, you focus on what you can control, your action. It's like on the river when you try to swim up the current
Yeah.
with all your energy. You might achieve half of the result, but
Yeah.
you will be drawn and you will be exhausted.
Yeah, and drag down.
And drag
eventually.
down, exactly.
Eventually. That's very interesting. Can I ask something else? Like, regarding that swimming up the river, right? But what about when you're stuck in a whirlpool and you're spinning around and around and around? Surely you want to get out of that whirlpool, or does the whirlpool somehow just end by itself? Or
That's a really great question, and I guess there are different strategies. But for me, basically, what I do if I stuck in the whirlpool, I use the tactics that sometimes I think I heard that when I was a kid, or in my teenager period. That when you're stuck in a whirlpool,
yeah,
you jump in the center,
yeah,
and it will get you back,
yeah.
get you out.
That's amazing. Is that true? That is true. Physically, or
I
is it
don't
a
know, but
metaphor?
mentally it works very well.
Yeah, but what's a good example of that? Out of curiosity, sort of like, let's say you're stressed at work and you're just like having a nervous breakdown, almost like you're like, I
mean-
can't do this. I'm not going to get it in time. Or
The first thing you need to do is that you don't stay against that feeling.
right, yeah,
You embrace that.
Right.
It happens
Yeah,
with you right now. The whirlpool is happening, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's there. You don't try like desperately come out of it, right?
Yeah.
This is the first thing.
right,
The second thing you should see why I'm there. Why am I there? What's
Yeah.
the reason that I'm this whirlpool? Why do I feel that feeling, for example, right? Why do I stuck in that situation? And we'll come back to the last step because it's actually part of the tool that I want to talk about today.
okay,
But again, I think recognizing and understanding that whirlpool is a part of the journey,
right,
it already helps. It's not a danger that stops you from achieving your things. It's a natural part of the river.
cool. That's really cool.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
So let's take your situation. You remember we talked about the ACT.
yeah,
It's all about recognizing there are some things we just can't change.
yeah,
Instead of wasting energy on the impossible things, you focus on what you can control and your actions. So let's take your situation
yeah,
with a film, for example, editing.
yeah. Yeah.
What's one thing you could do right now that lines up with what you value, your principles,
Yeah,
even though things are not going as planned?
yeah, yeah.
So, meaning, what is the action you can do, what you can control, and what you can't control?
Well, what I thought about was my thoughts, right? Like, stop stressing as much,
Oh yeah,
I think. And sometimes you let yourself get dragged into the whirlpool and you're panicking, but really you can just relax. Accept it. Exactly. If you just accept it, yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the panic, at least the whirlpool. What you think the whirlpool is disappears.
I agree.
if you accept it.
I agree. You accept, and then you act. So, what will be your act?
Well, the act is to intentionally, instead of stressing about everything around it, just do one, pick it up and do a simple task, do a simple task, do a simple task until the
Fantastic.
task is finished. You know?
Fantastic, fantastic. And the whirlpool will suddenly look like a small obstacle, which
Yes.
is the part of the journey ahead.
Yeah, yeah. And next time you see the whirlpool, you know how to approach it better.
You're not so afraid of it anymore. I love that. All right. So now I want to share a tool that helped a lot of people, and it helped me as well. I've tried that, and it just was amazing. It's called the rain meditation.
Okay,
It's from Taras Brock's book called Radical Acceptance,
cool.
which I would recommend to read.
Yeah.
Everyone that listens to this podcast, I will come back to the books. You know that little voice in your head that says, "You're not good enough.
Yeah,
You've messed up again."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that one. Sound
I
familiar?
hate that one. Yeah, 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 yeah. And sometimes it's stronger, and sometimes you forget about it, or sometimes you thought you defeated it, and then you kind of. This happens a lot with me. Like things that you think you overcome, you get kind of unconscious to it, and then you kind of wake up to like, wow, I've gone a whole week now with this bad pattern, or again, occupying my mind. Yes, yes, yes.
And that's really interesting because I believe you can't defeat it in the traditional way that it will disappear.
Right.
It will be always there.
Yeah.
But I guess
Okay.
your Sierra will be in form of not paying attention to it, let it flow. It's a stone in the river that you don't afraid of.
Yeah.
You don't try to push it out. Like imagine when you were a kid,
Yeah.
you build all this, the small boats in the river
Yeah.
out of paper boats,
Yeah.
and you let them flow. They don't collide with the stones. They just follow the flow.
Right.
All right. So they're not afraid, of course, of it. They are not conscious. But the
Yeah.
same as for us. They are there. The thoughts are coming, but we just, pass
Yes.
past those without colliding. If we accept our life as a river.
That's deep, man. Mind blown. Yeah.
So, if we come back to the voices that we have in our head, it can be relentless. But Brock's message is that through self-compassion, we can break out of that trance
Okay.
of the constant voices that you're talking about that week.
Interesting.
Maybe. So
Yeah.
the rain meditation is a way to do that. There is
Okay.
a special rain meditation, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
So, do you want to try it out with me?
I'm dying to try it out. That's super exciting.
And I promise it's easy. It's very easy. So RAIN stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture.
Beautiful.
Let's walk through it together. First, think about that thing you are struggling with. Got it? All
Yep.
right. So let's do it step by step. Recognize. Notice what is coming up. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling stressed that it needs to be kind of perfect, or yeah, it needs to be a certain way.
All right. That's awesome. And a small comment here. And that's really amazing just to know that. Emotion. I'm not talking about feeling, but emotion that we get
Okay.
from time to time. The emotion that we get from time to time.
Yeah.
You know how long it lasts? There is actually a time limit for how long each emotion lasts.
Wow.
Do you know how much?
Very short, I think. If you don't keep forcing it again and again and again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you know how much it lasts?
Maybe 5 seconds or a minute or something.
It's 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
90.
Okay.
90. And after that, it
90.
will...
So an hour.
No,
Wait, sorry.
seconds.
90 seconds. Sorry.
90 seconds.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it will disappear after 90 seconds. If you don't hold to it, as you say.
That's crazy. Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just that knowledge will help you to deal with whatever emotion you get.
Yeah, I actually think I heard something like this about people, smokers. They keep thinking about the smoke, and that makes them, agitated or whatever. But yeah, if you if you just hold on a little bit, it will disappear.
Exactly. 90 seconds, man.
Yeah.
90,
That's
just
crazy.
remember that. Okay. That's awesome. So now you recognize the feeling of the stress that you experience
Yeah.
to make it perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now allow, the second one. Recognize, allow. This means not trying to push that feeling away. Just let it be there for now. What is like to sit with that feeling? Just sit in it. Experience that fully.
It feels like a panic attack, almost a
All right.
light panic attack.
Right. But when you try to allow that feeling to happen, not staying against it, but just let it be there.
It's hard. It's hard because you're fighting against it. You want to repress it. You want to escape.
Try to stop fight. Just try it for a moment now. Stop fight, just recognize and allow it to be where you are. As a natural part of the surroundings, natural part of that period of life you have. How does it feel?
I guess it's slowly. It's still there, but I guess it slowly loses its power a little bit.
Exactly. I love that. Exactly. Okay, but we are not done yet. Investigate. So ask yourself, what's the feeling trying to tell me? What's really going on underneath? You remember we talked about that
Yeah.
feeling,
Yeah.
feeling connected to the conclusion you get in your head,
Yeah.
which connected to the fact. So, what conclusion are you taking in your head? What narrative do you create in your head that provoke that feeling?
I think if I understand correctly, I just thought about it now. Like it's the need for control. You need to control.
And the
That's-
narrative you have in your head is like,
I don't have control. Yeah, exactly. And then you're stressed. Yeah.
I love that.
That's deep, man.
I love
That's
that.
crazy. Yeah.
I
That's
love
fucked
that.
up. That's weird.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
now you
shouldn't swear.
now you investigate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now the last one, which is I think is the most important part in whatever situation, in whatever feeling that you have. And we often forget that. Nurture. Right? This is where we show ourselves kindness.
Yeah.
Imagine what you say to a friend going through the same thing. Yeah. How would you nurture yourself in the situation that you're now?
Oh, that would be easy. That's easier.
How would you do
to
that?
nurture a friend? I would say, well, I would say like it's not that important. You know, just do your best, and you know, it's just one step on a long journey, and this result isn't, you know, make or break. It's just practice in a long, yeah,
Okay, let me reframe that. How would you nurture a kid
kid. Okay.
that struggles with the same?
Yeah. I'd probably tell him to relax and it's okay. I understand why you feel this way and just take it one step at a time and you'll get there.
And how physically will you nurture him or her?
Probably comfort him by, you know, stroking on the head or something, you know, or whatever kind of thing, you know, just like relax, chill, hug maybe, give him a hug. Yeah.
Can you do it to yourself now? Nurture yourself. Say the things you said because that's so amazing and that's so needed for every one of us. Nurture is the part that we forget.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
And remember saying that. I'm a good one. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
I will figure it out. That's so important part of it. All right, let's get a little philosophical.
Right. Let's
Right.
go. Yeah.
We went through the ancient Greeks. Went through the ACT, which is acceptance and commitment therapy. We went through the RAIN meditation, which stands for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. And now I really want you to think about that as a big framework for yourself.
Right.
So let's get a bit philosophical because why not?
Yeah.
You know, I've been traveling to the place for my spiritual journey,
Right.
which I do each year.
Yeah.
And that idea came out from this spiritual journey.
Okay.
So imagine your life as a river.
Yes.
It's not, I know you can hear that from, you know, different books and the different conversations, but just detach yourself from what you know about that phrase, a life as a river,
Yeah.
and just try to go into the philosophy and the concepts that I want to describe.
Okay.
From the moment you're born, you're flowing downstream.
Yes.
You don't choose where you're born. You don't choose what, if we're talking about the Switzerland where I was at their spiritual journey, you don't choose which mountain you've been born at,
Yes.
right? But when you're born, you start flowing downstream,
Yeah.
your river, your life. And you don't control the terrain. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes it's rocky, but you do control how you steer.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does that image connect with what we've been talking about?
For sure.
And all these obstacles, terrain, forms your values, principles, and who you are.
Yes.
Forms
Well done.
your experiences through the life being. But there is more. Who are you there? And as far as I imagine that, I imagine myself in a boat.
Okay.
So I have a boat
Yeah.
flowing downstream that river.
Yeah.
And my boat represents my physical and emotional strength,
Okay.
resilience.
Yeah. That's it.
And I can build it up, I can upgrade that, and I can maintain it.
Yeah.
So that helps me when suddenly the river gets more rough. It will withstand the circumstances because I have a very strong boat foundation, call it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I can also can steer in the very rough times because I have that fantastic boat.
Yeah.
That's the first part. But then the question is, who is steering the boat? The captain. And you are the captain, and I'm the captain of our boats.
All right.
There, we're talking about the spiritual journey, our visions, our goals. And that spiritual understanding of what we want to achieve in life help us to choose the right path. Sometimes we are in the river, which is really rough all the time. What does it mean? And we can't build a boat to the level where we strong enough or strong all the time, because boat eventually will go in pieces if
Yeah.
there is a rough river all the time.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you steer and you have a very specific vision and values in your life, you can actually change the river when it's possible. It's not always possible, but sometimes you have a possibility to change the course.
Yeah.
And then you should be prepared for that.
That's interesting. It's very interesting.
What do you think about this
Yeah.
concept with
I
a
love-
boat?
I
and
love
a
that.
river?
Yeah. Yeah. That's very interesting. That's good. I love metaphors or pictures. Like it also made me when the river is so rocky, you can't build. It's the same like when people are traumatized or whatever. It's very hard to build or learn or develop. But also having a super easy life is not very beneficial either. You need a little bit of both, and a time of peace and a time of a little bit of upheaval, and then some peace again, so you can process and this kind of thing.
And can we control the river and the terrain?
To some degree, as you said, by steering, we can find easier patches and harder patches.
But the river itself and the terrain, can we control that? We can control where we steer,
Yeah, but
but the circumstances,
yeah, no. I mean,
we can be prepared for those
yeah,
with a very strong boat and good navigation skills.
yeah,
But what's happening is happening. And when it's really rough and it's just really bad weather, we just need to take care and do whatever it takes in the best way possible with navigating that rough river.
Yeah.
Not staying against it, because that would mean that you try to flow up the river, now up the hill, and that will just exhaust you with energy, and you don't have more, fuel for your boat,
Yeah.
but to navigate.
Yes.
But when it's a rough circumstances, or rough river conditions, you can't build a boat either. You need to wait until it's calmed down, and then you need to build it up, modify, maintain, be prepared. Then it's time. So that's why you need to be proactive and prepare for all this, improve your skills. Because, for example, with the steering, right? You feel that the river is not yours. You feel it's too often rough, too often, unpleasant.
Yeah.
If you don't build a spiritual resilience and spiritual vision of where you go, your values, principles, you will never find the right river.
That's crazy. Oh.
Never find the right path. You
Yeah.
need to be aware about that. And it's not just you can jump from one to another. No, but sometimes it comes a time where you need to choose, and you choose right because you're prepared for that.
Right. That's very cool, man. This was an amazing episode. I need to go back and listen to this again.
And I've tried this concept in my life for a long time now, after I came back from that journey. And it's just a feeling of when everything rough, a lot of things happening at work, at home, kind of have this feeling that I let it flow.
Yeah.
I let it flow. I don't react negatively on that.
Yeah.
It's a part of the flow, part of that terrain that I'm here now.
Right.
And it will eventually end,
Yeah.
and I will be okay.
Yes. That is amazing. Yeah, it's so counterintuitive, or at least it goes against what we naturally do. But of course,
And
Yeah.
in all this, Amor Fati, act, rain, meditation, they're all just tools to help us to steer the boat. What's in the rough times? Right? So what's one thing you could do differently now, knowing that life is a river and you're in the boat?
I thought, prepare when it's not so bad. Prepare for the rough. Prepare for the rocky waters.
And also building yourself, your spiritual awareness, your vision, your understanding where you want what you want in life,
Yeah.
to choose the right path when you see it.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. Before we wrap up, here's something for all our listeners. Life's a river may throw some rocks your way, but it's how you navigate that counts. And if today's episode resonated with you, check out these books to go deeper. There is a Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach, which we touched upon, for more self-compassion and mindfulness. A really great book to read. Man's Search for a Meaning by Viktor Frankl. We have discussed that before. Powerful look at finding purpose through suffering.
Yeah.
And The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown, which will help you embrace your vulnerability and let go of perfectionism.
Yes. But I need that one.
So where is your boat headed now?
Oh, I feel like it's headed many different directions at the same time, but that's probably not a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's a great start.
Okay.
So what are you going to do with that? When you have so many directions.
Yeah, you have to try to find one
How?
by finding what's most important.
Yes. How we'll do that?
By thinking and, deciding.
Exactly. Because whatever path, and it's, again, you should not be afraid of taking the path.
Yeah.
You can always choose another one afterwards.
Yes.
You should try.
Oh, that's so true.
And
Sometimes we get stuck in
It's the-
analysis paralysis.
analysis paralysis,
Yeah.
exactly. And the best thing is to make a choice, to not make a choice.
to make a choice not to make a choice.
No, no.
Oh yeah, to make a choice.
It's
to make,
a choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Than not to make a choice.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't
yeah,
matter. It can be rough river there, but it's much better to do that.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're stuck.
Yeah. You're living in a Schrodinger's box. You know. It could be anything. It's
it-
best to test it out. So look under the rock, lift the rock up and see what's under. You know, not just think, what's under the rock? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. I don't know. I don't know. You know.
I love it. I love it.
yeah.
I really love this compassion. So, I think the time is up for today, and thank you for joining me at Inspiro, your cozy virtual cafe where we dive deep into the wisdom of life and offer a quick dose daily inspiration. And one last thing, remember to smile. Because when you smile, the world smiles back. Keep steering, keep flowing, and remember you've got this. Have a fantastic day and live a life filled with inspiration. And for those that have been here until the end of the episode, you will have a bonus as promised. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything we talked about today, I made a song of it.
Wow. Oh my God. What?
Listen to that. You'll be surprised.
I've been drowning in silence, lost in the flood, chasing the shadows, sinking in the mud. But there's power in falling and letting it be. Now I'm breaking these chains, setting me free. I've been drowning in silence, lost in the flood, chasing the shadows, sinking in the mud. But there's power in falling and letting it be. Now I'm breaking the chains, setting me free. I'm done with the struggle, done with the fight. Let the river take me, I'll rise in its light. I'm done with the struggle, done with the fight. Let the river take me, I'll rise in its light. I'll flow with the river, no fear in the storm. I'll stand on the edge, let the water transform. Through the darkness, I'm finding my way. I'll flow with the river and not be afraid. I've been holding the burden, afraid to let go, but now I'm learning to trust what I don't know. With the waves crashing in, I'm not running away. In the heart of the storm, I'm here to stay. I'm done with the struggle, done with the fight. Let the river take me, I'll rise in its light. I'll flow with the river, no fear in the storm. I'll stand on the edge, let the water transform. Through the darkness, I'm finding my way. I'll flow with the river and not be afraid. I've been holding the burden, afraid to let go, but now I'm learning to trust what I don't know. With the waves crashing in, I'm not running away. In the heart of the storm, I'm here to stay. I'm done with the struggle, done with the fight. Let the river take me, I'll rise in its light. I flow with the river, no fear in the storm. I'll stand on the edge, let the water transform. Through the darkness, I'm finding my way. I'll flow with the river and not be afraid. Every tear, every scar, every bend in the road, it's the weight of the world that makes us whole. I'll surrender the fear, I'll embrace the unknown. In the river I found my soul. I'll flow with the river, no fear in the storm. I'll stand on the edge, let the water transform. Through the darkness I'm finding my way. I'll flow with the river and not be afraid.